Hello, I'm Claire Smith, welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be talking about those clean, inoffensive fragrances that we all tend to reach for when we're going to work. These fragrances just don't get as much attention here on YouTube because they're just not as exciting as the going out fragrances. They don't have those weird note profiles, they're not controversial, they're just simple, likeable fragrances that just make you smell clean and elegant and ready for your everyday life, really at work. So I've got 10 to talk about in this video, and if you haven't seen me before, I'm Claire Smith and I make videos all about perfume, perfume science, perfume history, and I also just do some perfume reviews. So if that kind of thing interests you and you haven't already done so, then please do consider subscribing. And also please like this video if you do end up liking this video. So let's get on with this. So the first fragrance is actually one from Chloe and it's Nomade, and this is the EDP. So this to me just makes me think of Chloe clothing. It makes me think of somebody who's wearing some taupe slacks or some, very tailored trousers and a crisp white shirt, very businessy, but also quite friendly and approachable. And I think that's really what you want at work, isn't it? Something that makes you smell professional, but something that's quite welcoming. So this is a modern Chypre perfume. It has a very citrusy opening, but then in the dry down, you get more of that oak moss. So there is a bit of a piney feel as well to this fragrance in the opening, and that really continues with the oak moss in the dry down, but it is also quite soapy at points. It's got like a soapy, citrusy, musky dry down. It's just very clean, very elegant, and this one really lasts very well through a work day. I get 8-9 hours out of this really, really easily. It's something that really is quite present, but I wouldn't say it's beastly. It's something that does project, but it still is quite a close scent bubble. I think this is just a really good fragrance for work, and it's something that's really good for the spring, summer as well. It's really fresh and clean. So that's Chloe Nomade. So the next fragrance is one from Elie Saab, and it's Le Parfum, and I actually wear this one quite a lot to work. I just find it very elegant, and I just think that you just smell very friendly when you're wearing this one. It's got a warmth to it. So this is a white floral fragrance. It's got jasmine, orange blossom, but really it's that really warm, sun-drenched kind of honey feeling that you get from the fragrance. The honey in this is not like sugary sweet honey. It's more like almost spiced honey to me, this. It's just got this really golden, elegant feel to it. And I really do think of weddings when I think of this fragrance. I think because at weddings you have to interact with lots of different people that you perhaps don't know, and it's really important to be friendly, and I feel like this is a very friendly fragrance. So that's Elie Saab Le Parfum. So this next fragrance is one that I was gifted by Francis, Happiness Sparkles here on YouTube, and that makes it extra special. But this fragrance is Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. So this fragrance is the fragrance that I tend to choose when I have a presentation to do at work, when I have to stand up in front of a lot of people and present my work and answer questions on it. This one just makes me feel a little bit more confident. This fragrance is nearly always the one that I choose, and I think the reason I choose it is because it's just very fresh, it's very clean, and it's very put together, and it just makes me feel confident. So this fragrance is a citrusy, woody patchouli fragrance with a hint of soft pink rose and a beautiful musky dry down. It's something that lasts on my skin 8 hours plus. A whole work day is absolutely fine out of this one, and I just really, really like it for those occasions when I need to feel confident. So that's Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. So the next fragrance is one from Lalique, and it's called Perles de Lalique. So this is a very energizing fragrance to me. It makes me think of fizzy water. It makes me think of rose flavored fizzy water. And it just has that sort of get up and go-ness that you need for work, but it still is very fresh and very clean. So this has a really great combination of warm and cooler notes, which also I think adds to that refreshing feel. So it's got a really nice warm pepper and then also a cool kind of rose and patchouli. And for me, this is a very different kind of pepper, rose, patchouli kind of combo fragrance. It's something that when you look at it on paper with the notes, you think, oh, I've smelled that before. But when you smell it, you really haven't. It's just a very uplifting and very bright feeling fragrance. And it's just one I really like. It lasts a long time as well. It's not like strong, it's not a beast, but it is still quite a strong fragrance, and it does last the whole day. So that's Perles de Lalique by Lalique. So this next fragrance is one that just makes me feel calm, and I think that's really important at work, isn't it? When you're stressed, it's really important to do everything you can do to feel calmer. And this one is Cerruti 1881. So this is a very floral fragrance, but but it's a very soft floral. It's something that's very gentle, and I think that's why it's calming. So this starts out quite floral and aquatic almost feeling, quite fresh, and then it turns into more of a powdery floral. So it actually has chamomile, which makes me think of chamomile tea, which I always find very calming. And it also has some powdery mimosa, which I think is really probably two of the most prominent notes in this fragrance, along with the fresh pink rose here. There's loads of other florals in this fragrance, but it's really impossible to pick them out. There's just so many that it just all sort of melds into one. But really, as this dries down, it turns into a very powdery, musky floral fragrance. And this one lasts all day. It's really long lasting, really good value, this fragrance as well. It's not expensive. And I just think this one just makes you smell very friendly and grounded and just calm. So that's Cerruti 1881. So the next fragrance is a non-gourmand vanilla, and I feel like that is probably more appropriate for work than a gourmand vanilla. So this one is Metal Wave by All Saints. So this fragrance is almost green vanilla to begin with, and it's definitely got a metallic feel as well. It also has a feel of pencil shavings about it, and I think really that metallic feel combined with the pencil shavings just makes me think of pencils. It makes me think of stationery, it makes me think of to-do lists, it makes me think of efficiency, and I think that's really what everybody wants to feel at work, isn't it? Everybody wants to feel efficient. This one just is very fresh and very clean again, but it is fresh and clean in a warmer way because of that woodiness and because of the vanilla. And I think this fragrance really reminds me of more expensive fragrances with this kind of note profile. So things like Gold by Commodity, which I think is, you know, three times the price of this fragrance, but actually, you know, I'd probably rather have this one over Gold by Commodity. This fragrance is really long lasting, but it does stay quite close to the skin, which makes it absolutely perfect for work. So that's All Saints Metal Wave. So this next fragrance is one from Coach, and it's Coach the fragrance EDP. And I remember when I first got this, I completely wrote it off because it was one I got free in a deal from a shop with another fragrance that I was more interested in buying. And ultimately, I just wasn't really even interested in trying this. And it's a fragrance that I've come back to last year and come back to this year. And each time I've been impressed by it, and then I kind of forget about it again. But this is one that I've been wearing to work this last week. So this is just a really fresh, fruity floral kind of fragrance, but with a really nice creamy, musky dry down. But the dry down also has a suede note. And the suede note is really the thing that makes this fragrance pop. It's really the thing that makes you go, ooh, you know, it's not just a fruity floral. So this fragrance really has a nice, beautiful freshness to it. It's kind of a slightly sparkly, soft raspberry and pink rose fragrance in the beginning. But then there's also that creamy musk and the suede. And I just think this one just makes me feel very girly and very pretty, but also just very put together and elegant in a way. And I think this one really works for work as well. It is a really long lasting fragrance, and it's one that has a small scent bubble. It's not going to be beast mode. But I think this one is just something that's very versatile, and it's a very universal kind of fragrance. It's something that I think most people will like. So that's Coach the fragrance EDP. So the next fragrance is one from Issey Miyake, and it's called Pleats Please Low. And this is a fragrance that I end up wearing to work in the summer. It's just a very refreshing kind of fragrance. And this one makes me think of pea shoots, weirdly. I don't know what it is about this fragrance that makes me think of that, but that's what I think of. I think of pea shoots. I also think of sweet peas, the flowers being further away than the actual leaves of the sweet peas. But yeah, that's what I get with this fragrance. Really, this is a very aquatic feeling kind of green fragrance in the beginning, and then it dries down into a rose citrus kind of floral musk fragrance. But it still has that sort of slight soapiness to it as well. It's just very clean and very fresh, and you just smell, you know, like you've just stepped out of a shower wearing this one. It's almost a little bit shampooey or shower jelly, and I just think that kind of feel is very perfect for work, isn't it? For just feeling fresh and clean. So that's Issey Miyake, Pleats Please Low. So this next fragrance is one from Calvin Klein, and this is a weird one for me to include because I've decluttered this fragrance once, and actually I bought another fragrance and I got this fragrance back again in a bundle, but actually on retrying it, I actually like it now. It's weird, isn't it? You're tasting fragrance. Maybe I got a bad bottle last time, I don't know. This one is CK Into You, Her, and loads of people on YouTube think this one is a really good cheapie, and I totally disagreed with them up until getting this fragrance again in a bundle, and now I actually think that this is a really good fragrance. So this has grapefruit and bergamot listed in the opening of the fragrance, but I would say to me it's more of like a very gentle lemon lime kind of opening. It's a really nice opening. I really like the beginning of this fragrance. And actually when I had it before, I really liked the beginning of the fragrance. The problem I had latterly last time was the dry down. So to me the dry down originally smelt like latex gloves, and I don't know whether the bottle I had was off or something. But this one doesn't smell like latex gloves. So this smells like a very powdery, very light vanilla fragrance with a sort of a cedary undertone. It makes me think of log cabins in forests and things like that. But really that citrus feeling does stay a little bit into the dry down. And this one is just very fresh and clean again. It's something that does make you sort of think about, you know, being in a shower or something. It would be perfect for the summer. And it's a very inexpensive fragrance again. I think you can get like 100ml of this fragrance for something like £15. Really not an expensive one, and something that doesn't last that long. I think out of this whole video, this is the only one that doesn't last all day on me. This probably lasts like 3 or 4 hours and I'd have to respray. But honestly, I don't really mind. The how cheap this fragrance is and how nice the opening is, I don't mind respraying it. So that's CK Into You, Her by Calvin Klein. So the final fragrance is actually one from Guerlain, and this is a fragrance that I wear to bed and I also wear to work, which is a really strange combination, isn't it? So this is Mon Guerlain, and I think the reason I find this suitable for both of those things is because it's just really, really relaxing, and I think that's the lavender in this fragrance. So this is a white floral, lavender and vanilla fragrance, but there's also a lot of powdery tonkeriness in the dry down as well. This one just smells like a very enveloping and very inviting kind of hug to me. It's something that really makes me feel like if you're wearing it, you smell beautiful, but not necessarily sexy or alluring. It's not that kind of fragrance. It's more of like a maternal kind of fragrance almost. It's something that is just very friendly and warm almost. I think this fragrance would be great in a customer-facing situation, something where you needed to be someone that somebody could talk to or could ask advice from. And this one just makes me feel very calm and relaxed as well. And I think that's really just perfect for work. So that's Mon Guerlain by Guerlain. And please let me know, which fragrances do you wear to work? And do you have any restrictions as to what fragrances you can wear to work? Or is it just your own personal choice? I'd be really interested to know, so please let me know down below, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!